Everybody, welcome to Burn It Down NASCAR podcast. We're going to cover what happened at Sonoma and not talk about much else because we don't have a race for another 2 weeks. So, Brian, your thoughts?
Uh, Congrats, Daniel.
Well, I've had enough of that. I mean,
Yeah, everybody's posting shit. Don't get me wrong, it was a good for him. We knew that was coming. He was always on the cusp of there. He just had to get, I guess, in his niche or whatever of the road course, which is fine.
I was impressed with his dominance. I mean,
he wasn't. It wasn't one of those last lap things or somebody ran out of gas. He was there pretty much all day. Same with Chris Buescher. I'm actually more impressed with Chris Buescher than Daniel Suarez, if that makes sense.
Well, no, and Michael McDowell. I mean, let's give a shout out to all three of them.
Yeah.
McDowell's not so much of a surprise, and Suarez to me is not so much of a surprise because, like you said, he's been on the cusp several races, just couldn't finish the deal. But he was lurking all day long, and once he got the lead, he never gave it up. And I want to give kudos to not only him, but I am becoming a huge, huge fan of Trackhouse Racing.
Oh, yeah.
They have got their shit together. Even after all the crap with Ross Chastain 2 weeks ago, they kept it together. They did not get distracted. And as a team, I mean, Ross Chastain, he was in the top 10, 7th.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
I mean, they are going to be, in my opinion, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with when it comes chase time.
I think Ross will go down to top 4. Daniel will probably be top 12, maybe top 8, but I don't think he'll go past much more than that. I don't think he'll be.
I will say that I believe too that Chastain will be in the final 4.
Yeah.
Suarez, it just. How many times this year has he been right there?
Yeah.
And something's happened. He's gotten caught up in a wreck. He's had a mechanical failure, a pit penalty, whether it's speeding or something, a loose tire or something of that nature. But they held it together. And let me tell you what, that team was distracted big time. Not just Chastain, but Suarez. Because of all the crap that's been going on with Ross Chastain. But I'm becoming a huge fan. And again, shout out. I'm not even going to go to the first Mexican ever. Who cares?
Yeah, I don't
care. I don't care if you're from Venezuela. You raced a car. You raced it hard. You won it fair and square. And it wasn't a fluke. You didn't slide into it backwards, as Kyle Busch likes to say.
Yeah.
Although he did that the very next race after he accused somebody
Alex Bowman of doing it. Yeah, he did it at Bristol Dirt.
But, and again, I another little shout out. Kevin Harvick's been in no man's land all year long.
And there's a little thing I kind of posted on the page or fan page where I can quote, if I can find it real quick, what he said. Harvick said after the sluggish stop, he goes, "I swear to God, we look like the biggest fucking bunch of wankers every single week on pit road." And Tony Stewart agreed. So
he did. He absolutely agreed.
So I'm pretty sure there is an internal meeting saying, "Get your shit together or you're all fired."
Well, they've got 2 weeks before Nashville, and it wouldn't surprise me to see some new faces on pit road because Kevin Harvick is not happy.
Well, Kevin Harvick is, I'm not trying to get too far ahead of ourselves, but he's 7 points out right now. Well, by people winning and stuff or something like that. Let me look. Yeah, he is 7 points out of the chase. If it ended today...
of the chase. Okay.
Yeah, if it ended today, he'd be 7 points out because he doesn't have a win, not very consistent, and his pit crew is not helping.
No, they're not doing their job. That's a fact. But All right, let's go ahead and finish down.
Yeah.
We got Austin Cindric in 5th. We got
Good for
Blaney
him.
and yes, that was awesome too. But he's in good equipment. He's expected to do that.
Yeah.
Teammate Ryan Blaney in 6th, Ross Chastain in 7th, Chase Elliott in 8th, William Byron in 9th, and Keselowski. We have a Keselowski sighting in 10th spot.
Congratulations. We got 2 of the RFK guys in top 10. I don't think that's ever happened yet this year.
No, not this year. I don't know. I'd have to look, but
if anything, it'd be Daytona.
It was a nice change of I mean, obviously you've got Chase Elliott and Byron up there.
Yeah.
But it was, and Blaney. But it was nice to see some of these guys. Again, I cannot say enough about Suarez, Buescher, and McDowell. And ain't any one of those, and Cindric, ain't any one of those 4 slid into it sideways. They raced hard all day, and they did it right. And I'll tell you what, it was nice. Plus, seeing Kevin Harvick up there in the top 5 position. Other than that, as far as the race, it wasn't, I don't want to say boring. It wasn't drama filled. I thought it was pretty cool. I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah, like I said, I enjoyed it too. It wasn't just a bore fest. I wish there was more racing, but I just think the cars ended up where they would be. Like when Larson, after the first stage, he had to go back, and he was working his way up through. He was working his way. He could pass. It wasn't like they couldn't pass. It's just some of the cars weren't. They filed to where they were finishing of how good the cars were. So yeah. I just figured this is how they were. Maybe a few people got up where they shouldn't be. It's just like, Larson with his tire shit, but this is how it was, how good those cars were where they finished. It just wasn't, they couldn't pass. They rode around. No, this is how it was.
It was. Like I said, I was impressed. I enjoyed it. I do wish there was a little bit more excitement, but it is what it is. Let's go on to the standings. Chase Elliott still holds the number 1 position, and then we'll go 2 through 16 because that's what we're looking at for the chase. You got Chastain, Kyle Busch, Blaney, Logano, Truex, Larson, Byron, Bowman, Bell, Almirola, Harvick, Briscoe, Reddick, Dillon, and Eric Jones poked his nose in.
Mm-hmm.
So he's 2 points ahead of Daniel Suarez with the win.
Yeah, but with the win, Eric Jones is out. Dillon's out. Look at Cindric's 18th. He has a win. He's out. Kurt Busch has a win.
I'm not talking about the actual chase setup. I'm just talking about the standings right now, and I get what you're saying.
It's just, with the current positions as in points, yes.
Yeah. So you want to go ahead and go down the chase standings?
Yeah. If the chase ended, if chase started, at Knoxville, where we're going next, Nashville. Ross Chastain would have won the regular season. Right now, it would have been Ross, then Chase, then Joey Logano, then William Byron, then Kyle Busch, then Denny Hamlin, then Kyle Larson, Ryan Blaney, Alex Bowman, Martin Truex, Kurt Busch, Daniel Suarez, Chase Briscoe, Austin Cindric, Christopher Bell, and then Eric Almirola actually he has no win, but he's been very consistent. And then after that, barely not making it would be Harvick, Reddick, notables. Let's see who else. There's not really many other ones. Like there's Stenhouse, who's been up there, Jones.
Of those in the top 16, how many do not have a win? And who are they?
Okay, now the top 16, if the playoffs ended today, who don't have a win right now, Ryan Blaney has no win. To Martin Truex, no win. Christopher Bell, no win. And Eric Almirola. So four people. So right now, we honestly could. That scenario is possible where we could get 5 more first-time winners of the season and one of them not make it because of it. With
Bell, Amarillo, Harvick,
no.
Reddick, Dillon,
Yep.
and Jones, who are in the top points right now
Yep.
with no wins. You've got Suarez, Cindric, Busch, Hamlin
Busch.
that have wins but aren't in on points. So you've got let's go back. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them.
Yep.
That would kick out. You go four up. It would kick out Eric Jones, Austin Dillon.
Austin Dillon.
They would be kicked.
And Kevin Harvick.
Austin Dillon would be the last one out.
Kevin Harvick would be kicked out. Dillon would be kicked out. Tyler Reddick would be kicked out. And Eric Jones would be kicked out.
Blaney would be kicked out right now, along with Truex. So yeah, if you go up there, you got Blaney with no wins.
Yep.
Truex with no wins.
Yeah.
Bell with no wins.
And Almirola.
And Amarillo. So the only ones that would be able to point in would be Harvick, correct?
What scenario are you trying to say here?
All those with wins are automatically in.
Currently, and yes. And there's only 4 people that's in the top that's in by points, and that's Blaney, Truex, Bell, and Almirola. So if they would get bumped, if let's say Bubba Wallace won at Talladega or Daytona coming up, let's say Harrison Burton wins one, or Cole Custer sneaks one and tied. If they would get bumped, if they do not get a win, they would get bumped. Even though Ryan Blaney is 4th in points, he would still get bumped because he doesn't have a win. That's a scary thought. The guy 4th in points gets bumped because he doesn't have a win. It
wouldn't go down to Harvick. It would go to Blaney.
Yeah, it would go to Blaney. And then the next one.
It would go to Eric Almirola. But yeah, and that's my point, is you got to win and in. And it looks at this point like if you want to be safe, you better have 2.
It's like I said, it's very plausible that there could be. I know we have 11, I think, races until playoffs start. It's very plausible at this moment in time. We have Daytona and Talladega. Those are
we have winners that don't make the chase.
Yeah, Daytona and Talladega, right? Those are crapshoots. Bubba Wallace could win one, and then Michael McDowell might win one. He's good at plate, so that's right there. That bumps them up. That bumps Eric Almirola and Christopher Bell out. But then who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in the next couple races? So it's very plausible. It'd be interesting to see how that works out, because it'd be really shitty if Ryan Blaney doesn't get a win, but he's 4th in points, but he doesn't have a win, so he bumped out. He'd be 17th in points because he didn't get a win because of the playoff the way it works.
I think the scenario is playing out more and more that we're actually going to have guys that have wins and don't make the chase.
Well, Ryan Blaney
then
better
what's
get going.
NASCAR going to do? Make the Kevin
top
Harvick
20
rule?
Top 20?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's like I said, there's nothing really to talk about for next week. So let's go to the Fantasy League.
Well,
we have a new player.
Hold on. Before we get to that, I want to shout the stuff out. I want to shout out the feeds.
Oh, go ahead.
I didn't do it at the beginning again. If you guys didn't know, people watching, we got I think 10 or 11 views. It was actually up on views for the YouTube video. I did work a couple weeks ago. I got all the audio podcasts uploaded, so you can listen to them on any audio podcast locations. We actually got, I think we got 30 or 40 listens, which is, I think, pretty good over just the second week of putting it on there. So we got 30 or 40 views or listens on the audio versions, and there's people all over the world listening. So I think that's pretty cool. There's someone like Belgium and Chile, and I think it's pretty cool. So I just want to shout that out before we continue on the Fantasy League, which I think is pretty cool. If you want to listen either there or on YouTube is youtube.com. Not YouTube, but just search Burn It Down Podcast on YouTube. It'll pop up. give us a follow, like, whatever, and then vice versa. We're on rss.com, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Samsung, Pandora, and Google. If you're on any of them, just search Burn It Down Podcast, or in the podcast section, just search Burn It Down Podcast, and we are there. We gained a follower towards the podcast. So if you want like that, like I said, we got quite a bit of views or listens, which I thought is pretty cool. So like I said, we just got them uploaded like 2 weeks ago. So last week was the first episode that was fresh instead of like a bulk upload. So that was kind of like a gauge. So if we get like 30 average views or listens a week and grow from there, I'm pretty happy. So
yep,
we can go from there, and I'll shout this out again at the end of this
all right,
podcast.
Let's do the fantasy league real quick, and I'm excited about this because we do have a new player.
It's like cheating though. They can pick anybody from here on out.
It's he's going to be restricted for 2 races, but anyway, the gentleman's name is Lunar, and he did beat us this week. He had a 157. I had a 154. Brian had a 142, but I got to stress that Brian and I are in the part of the season where we're literally, because of the restrictions with the league, we're having to, I don't want to say do throwaway, but we've got to try strategy-wise to save some of the best guys for the last 4, 5, 6 races. So we're having to branch out and use, and it didn't work out bad for me. I'm not sure exactly how it worked out for you.
I originally had people in my lineup that I'd never picked once, and then I slowly adjusted. I never picked Suarez, I've never picked McDowell, and I never picked Briscoe, and I never picked Allmendinger. I might have picked Briscoe. I can't say that. But I picked Hamlin and Busch before. But I had Buescher in there at one point. I think I took a screenshot because I was like, I can't. There's no way I'm going to do this. Okay, I originally had Justin Haley, Chris Buescher, AJ Allmendinger, Michael McDowell, Daniel Suarez, and Cole Custer. People I've never picked. 10, 10, 10, 10. And then I slowly, after qualifying, I switched it up. I'm like, well, Chris Buescher, he's, and I should have stuck with it, but because that would have probably been a better lineup than what I had. But we're at the point where we got to start picking and choosing what we're doing until about the last 5 races, and then it's go time.
Yep. And again, we're getting down to, like you said, we get right towards about 5, 6 races out. But anyway, to finish it up, there was Frank.
Yeah.
I won't go there. On our predictions, you picked Elliott to win and AJ as the dark horse. Elliott was 8th, AJ was 19th. I picked Kurt Busch to win.
Oof.
He was 18th, and Keselowski is the dark horse. He was 10th. And Frank picked Blaney as 6th and AJ, which again was 19th. So we were all pretty much even if you average it out. And we didn't do the Bubba watch, but it didn't matter because we'd all been right. He was dead ass last.
Yeah. 10 laps in, blew a motor. And I didn't research it, but I don't know if he misshift, blew the motor. All of a sudden it just blew up. So I don't know if that was a him thing or a motor thing.
I don't either, but did you notice they didn't talk about it at all?
No.
All day. It just...
I like the slow visual. I think before they went to commercial, the just all coolant and water coming out of the tailpipe. I was like, oh shit, that was bad.
So,
but yeah, no, we didn't.
On the fantasy league, we were contacted this week by an individual, and he did end up figuring out because we did explain it. But I do want to explain it again.
Mm-hmm.
Go to NASCAR.com, click on fantasy. I think it's Fantasy Live actually.
It's there on the main
When
site.
you get in there, you're going to have to create an account. Once you do that, search for us, Burn It Down NASCAR Podcast, and join the group.
I believe. Go ahead.
We are working on possibly doing some kind of prize package for the chase. it's going to depend on how many people we get in this league by the time we get to Chase. I mean, if there's only one or two or three others, it's not worth our time to do this. But if we
Maybe
get
next
up,
year.
yeah, if we get up to 20, 25 people in here, to do this fantasy league with us, I've got some personal connections and we can come up with some other stuff. But again, I'm not going to broadcast what we're thinking about doing. The only thing I will say is if we do this contest, you're going to have to beat all three of us, me, Brian, and Frank, who will probably be back with us next week or the week after as he's switching jobs. And for those of you that don't know, he's our third person on this podcast, but due to personal obligations, he just cannot be here at this point in time. But we're looking at doing a contest, and the only rule that I know of right now is that whoever may win this, and we're looking at some things, and hopefully we can announce something pretty soon, but it's going to depend on how many people we have in this league. And quite frankly, if you join right now, because you need the playoff points, that is going to help you. But anybody's got a chance. Even though we're better than halfway through the regular season, you get in now, you can do like what Lunar's done. You can go with the heavy hitters because Brian and I can't do that right now. We have got to lay back and hopefully make some good picks.
Because when the playoffs start, it resets not your points, but it resets your picks to 5 apiece. Because right now you're limited to 10 throughout the season until playoffs hit. Now it resets to 5. So when the playoffs start, you can pick 5 people and go. And it doesn't have to be playoff hitters. It can be anybody, I'm assuming.
Well, no. I would... Well, okay, I'm not going to say this because I don't know. But I would assume if you're in the playoffs, it might be anybody, but...
Yeah, you could choose... I'm assuming you could choose anybody because you don't have to be a playoff to win the race.
Can you imagine that if, say, Ryan Blaney and Kevin Harvick don't make it and that you can use them in the chase?
Yeah.
We'll have to look into that.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware of that. I figured you'd just be playing with the 16 guys that are in there as far. But anyway, we'll figure that out when we get there or beforehand. But my point is, join us because we really do want to do something as far as a contest, and it won't be a cheesy pillow and a dog bone. It's going to be something a lot better than that. And that's all I want to say about it. Please, people, join us. Go to NASCAR.com, click on Fantasy League, get yourself an account, search for Burn It Down Podcast, and join us. And let's get this thing going. We enjoy competing against each other. We're so thankful that Lunar's in there now. Frank's in there. We want more than 4 people in this. We want to have fun. I would actually like, by the time we get to the chase, if we have enough people, like highlight the winner and put them on the broadcast. Why did you pick the guys? Interview them. Why did you pick the guys that you picked? What made you do that? And please don't tell us the color of the car.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, don't do that.
This guy came from YouTube. It wasn't, unless he came from audio to the YouTube, but he commented via the YouTube. It wasn't the Facebook or the Twitter. I'm
just glad to have somebody else. I don't care how they got there.
Hey, it's growth, and like I said, for first year starting, and like I said, for the first 6 months, we were just YouTube, and I just branched out. So like I said, I don't know if it translated into YouTube the way he could comment and come, but like I said, it was YouTube, and he commented, say, how can I get in the league, and then he found out.
So, but yeah, let's tell everybody, please, and let's join. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, but Lunar, he beat us.
And Lunar, as you know, we're talking about you because you're the newest one. I'd love to talk about 3 or 4 or 5 people a week. That would be awesome. So, and of course, as always, comment to us if we've missed something or mischaracterized something or said something you don't agree with. Let us know. We'll put it. I don't care. I'll put it up there. So anyway, whatever news there is, which isn't a whole lot. I mean, there are 3 things that I have some interest in. I don't know what you have wrote down.
Yeah, I have 3 things also. I wonder if it's the same.
For the life of me, I do not understand what
Let me guess.
the goal of suspending a crew chief for a loose wheel. What the hell did he have to do with that?
Because he's the leader.
I can understand the tire changer. All right, you screwed up. I can understand maybe the jackman because he's standing there as first supervisor in charge. But what good does it do with the crew chief? What did he have to do with it? What was he supposed to do different? I don't understand that.
Apparently, he's supposed to have 4 eyes and look at everybody's job and say, "Hey, stop, 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 stop." I don't know. I agree. I think it's too much.
Somebody could explain that to me. Again, if they're going to do this and do the way they're doing, fine. That's going to put more pressure on the guys to make sure. And those, when they first started this year, I think it was like 6 or 8 pins that they had to get in there. They're up to like 12 or 16 now. So it's not like you should not have a problem getting those pins in the hub and tightening that down. This is the way NASCAR is going to play it. They make the rules, so there you go. But I wish somebody could explain to me why suspending the crew chief
is going to make it better.
Yeah. What's that going to have to do with it?
It's going to actually
not let the guy on pit road? I mean, I don't know. I don't get it.
I was thinking, how, I don't remember who it was. It was a couple weeks back when someone got suspended and the wrong tire changer got suspended, but it was the one that was wrote down as the right front. Okay, you remember that situation?
I do. I don't remember who it was.
I can't remember who. So what if the Chad Knaus way, because this is kind of like a loophole, since it's wrote down what is given the NASCAR of what each job was, what if Cliff Daniels isn't labeled the crew chief? It was somebody else.
Jeff Gordon is the crew chief.
Yeah. But Cliff Daniels doing the job. But they're going to suspend the guy who was, wrote down and given to him. It's kind of like a,
a loophole that the old boys in NASCAR would exploit.
I mean, it's a possibility, and hey, this is what NASCAR wants to do.
Yeah, because they definitely didn't ID the guy. They just went with the name on the card.
Yeah. So, I would try it. What the fuck they going to do? No.
Well, Jeff was in the pits, so he must be his response.
Yeah.
No, you had a good. That was great. I like that. Yeah, so all of a sudden you're going to have all kinds of people listed on the scorecards as people they aren't.
Yeah.
Suspend him. He's out back cleaning the toilets.
Yeah. He's the semi driver.
That's great. Oh man!
Like I said, that's just a loophole. I mean, do they have the balls to try it? Fuck, I would.
I would.
I'm already suspended. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's an awesome idea. I might have to write something about that. Misreport crew.
Yeah. Your whole crew has, they're all presidents. I don't know who they are. I'll get them out.
Goofy and Snoopy.
All right. You're suspended, Goofy. You're out for the next 4 weeks. Come here, Donald.
That's awesome idea. Because it did happen.
Yeah. Like I said,
I'm actually surprised somebody hasn't picked up on that besides up until now. That's awesome. Oh my god. All right, what else you got?
Kind of a sour. We kind of touched on this. Before we get into that type of news, I don't know. This is not really news. Is Clint Bowyer. I don't know what happened with him, why he was out of the booth. I just know it was a personal reason. I kind of tried to research it, and there is nothing on it. So it must have been pretty sensitive material, or something happened where he couldn't be there. So whatever it was, I hope he's doing good, or what the situation. I hope it's gotten better. I just know he wasn't there, and it was pretty much, that was it.
And I throw out a theory, and I'm not in any way accusing. We all know the boy likes to party.
Yeah.
All right. And we all know he likes to, the night before, go down on the infield and mingle with, and I think that's fantastic. Now, I have no way of knowing this, but when I found out he wasn't there and they said it was a personal issue, this is like a catch-22. I certainly hope it wasn't something with one of his family members or something of that nature. But I instantly thought, uh-oh, what did he do? Because he likes to cut the rug, buddy. I'm telling you what, that boy likes to party. He's talked about it on air, and my mind is wandering. I'm not accusing. I'm not making any kind of an accusation. But that's instantly where I went. He talks about going out to the towns and to the bars, and which is great. Believe me, I'm all in. Believe me, there's very few people in this world that I like to go out and drink a beer with if I had my choice besides him. That boy is hilarious. All right? And he's a lot of fun. But I'm just wondering if something didn't happen to where he got into some kind of trouble, some legal trouble.
I hope that's maybe he got too drunk and he couldn't do it, hangover or something. I don't know.
I don't know. But, it's like I said, it's a catch-22. Is something like that happened, or was something happening with his family?
Yeah.
So there's no real good scenario here.
It could be something like,
and I know he didn't.
I don't know if
he
it's
didn't
sensitive.
just have a bad day.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something. If it was something, cause I know he has a farm. So if it was something with his farm, it's like, hey, he had an emergency on his farm. So I don't think they would have a problem saying that. So I don't know. It's been hush hush. I literally just did a quick search.
It's supposed to be in Sonoma. His farm is in Kansas?
Yeah.
No. Somewhere in there? Iowa, Kansas, Missouri?
Kansas, yeah, it's Kansas City, Missouri, something like that, because he's huge.
So he should have been 2,000 miles almost away from it. Yeah. So again, I don't know. I'm only speculating.
Yeah.
I'm sure in time we're all going to find out.
I literally just did a quick search and I just still didn't find nothing. There's literally, everybody's literally hush hush. There's nothing, no articles, no nothing on it. So everybody's being respective on at least reporting what's going on until he makes a statement or something.
I agree. But I just wondered as well. I was like, oh man, I hope he did not do something dumb. And I hope he's not hurt, and I hope his family is okay. So like I said, there's a no good situation here. And I hope that it was something minor that he just had to deal with. I don't know.
Yeah, and he hasn't tweeted. He hasn't tweeted for 5 or 10 days, so there's nothing that he's saying either on it.
Something happened.
Yeah. So yeah, that was one of the things obviously everybody noticed, and Tony was up there with Larry McReynolds, and it was a good final race, but I'm actually looking forward to a consistent booth of people.
Of cool characters. We got Junior and the crew chief. Oh crap.
Hold on, I'm trying to. They got Rick Allen lives lap by lap. Steve Letarte is a color commentator.
There you go.
Yeah,
Letarte.
Jeff Burton, color commentator, and Dale Earnhardt, also up there. Mike Bagley, I don't know who that is, but they have him up there too.
He's more of a pit reporter type guy.
Mike Bagley, Brad Doherty, and Dale Jarrett. Those are Xfinity though. The pit reporters, Dave Burns, Parker Kligerman, Marty Snyder, Kelly Starvast, and Dylan Welch. But yeah, it's Rick Allen, Steve Letarte, Jeff Burton, Dale Earnhardt, and are the commentators for NBC.
As long as we don't have Danica in there.
We'll see how it goes. Like I said, we have an off week, and then we're on the Nashville after that. I'm hoping some news comes out in the next week or so, because everybody's with Martin Truex. Like they're pushing that this week too. They're trying to get that scoop before they left. At least Fox was. But yeah, we're at least getting to. Hopefully, then we're to get a consistent. I'm looking forward to see what NBC does with their production too.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Martin Truex not coming back.
Well, and I thought about it too the other day. Joe Gibbs has 3 or 4 people he could easily call up. He has Ty Gibbs. He has Brandon Jones, or whatever. And Trevor Bayne. He has 3 dudes he could call up right now. Trevor Bayne, I think, would be number 1, if not number 2 to Ty. Ty, I think, only gets it because of his grandson. But I think Ty's a little too young.
If 2 seats open up, which I still do believe that's going to happen, I think you're going to see Ty Gibbs and Trevor Bayne in the lineup, along with
Christopher Bell
and
Denny Hamlin.
Yes, although I'm not so sure Hamlin's. I mean, there could be 3 openings.
Yeah, because he's got a lineup ready to go. So I don't know what to expect. I'm assuming. Well, we got obviously shit's gonna hit the fan here in the next month or 2. With a lot of things.
Yeah. Well, I still and nice little segue. You showed me a mock-up of a car for Stewart-Haas Racing is in the Dodge Challenger.
Yeah.
Now that makes me wonder even more if Kyle Busch isn't looking hard at going over there, and this could be part of a hang-up.
Yeah, I don't know where that picture came from. I've seen it on an article, and obviously
I've seen it on several Facebook pages.
Yeah, so I don't think it's a real car. Shit, it might be, but it looks like a render, and it's just showing what it could look like, and it looks sharp.
Is it Chase Briscoe's car? The 14?
Yeah, Chase Briscoe, the Mobile One.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I don't know if I have a picture. I don't know if I can show it on the. It's a Mobile One Dodge Challenger. I can try to bring it up for people to see.
Oh, good job. A little bit to your left.
No, my camera is different than yours.
Oh,
there's you. Right. There's you. So it's a Dodge Challenger and it looks really good. I was like, damn, that looks pretty damn sharp. Now that just adds to the fuel of Stewart-Haas going Dodge.
Mm-hmm.
And what a grab Dodge would get, in my opinion, if they got Kyle Busch, because Kyle Busch gets, he has his whole truck series that would bring up the Dodge and trucks, and then Stewart-Haas was Dodge and them starting over and getting all the money for, getting Dodge started back up in Cup. So I want it to happen. I would love it for it to happen.
I would too. On the Challenger, it's pretty. But, and again, I'm not trying to break my arm on my own back, but I've said ever since the Kyle Busch balking at coming back, and it's not done deal yet, and I'm not saying it won't be a done deal. He may stay with Gibbs, but the more I read, the more I see, and as the more time goes on, Gibbs and Toyota are literally kissing his ass. They've told him anything you want, however much you want. Toyota's put out press statements. They can't lose Kyle Busch. Give him whatever, they are doing if you're any other driver and you've got, this was like Hendricks offering Jeff Gordon partial ownership and a lifetime contract.
And half owning the 48 car.
Yeah. Kyle Busch has been offered that and then
more.
Some, and he still is balking at it. And we all know AJ or Eric Amarola is leaving. It's announced. There's the perfect opening. And we've all said that the chemistry with Tony Stewart, Kevin Harvick,
oh my God,
and Kyle Busch is perfect.
It literally just gives me chills.
The same attitude.
It literally gives me chills. Those two teaming up and actually working together, and them just, the Ricky Bobby thing, lightning and thunder, shake and bake type thing. It just gives me that vibe of what they could do.
They're both in the, I don't want to say the sunset, but the latter part of their career.
Yep.
And I can see Harvick calling him up if this Dodge deal, and it just makes sense to me, because otherwise Kyle Busch would say, yeah, man, here, let me put another 0 on the end of this, and then I'll sign. And he's not, because I think they would let him do it. Whatever. Do whatever. You tell us. And they've said it public, and he won't do it. And it just makes me think, like I've said from the beginning, it's not that he's getting everything he wants from Joe Gibbs and Toyota. I think he's waiting for the next big thing.
He's waiting for all offers to be on the table.
Yeah, this Dodge rendering and the opportunity to go to work for Stuart Haas with Kevin Harvick
on a new manufacturer, bringing it up. I think it's a lot of cool opportunities that he's really thinking of doing.
I still, until it doesn't happen, I still say Kyle Busch is going to Stuart Haas in that 10 car. Now with this whole Dodge Challenger thing coming up, it's even making more sense to me. It really is, because that could be why he is balking with the Toyota. Like I said, how many athletes at this level are basically given a blank check and they say, not so fast, not so fast.
It just makes sense with Dodge going with him, because he has so many ties in all the other series with the trucks and then Xfinity. Like, him going Dodge brings in a lot of other Dodge projects and cars.
Yeah. Well, Dodge is in the trucks, aren't they?
No, there's nothing. It's only Chevy, Ford, and Toyota. Nope. Dodge is left 2012, 13.
I thought there were still Dodge trucks, because I know there wasn't very many Fords, and they've started to come back a little bit.
Yeah, there's no Dodges in any series.
Okay.
So like I said, if he does, it's a huge win for Dodge, I would think. But I also think
it's going to be blockbuster. It's going to be earth-shattering in NASCAR world.
Yeah, and
I just want to go out there and say, if it happens, you heard it here first.
I called that shit a long time ago.
There's nobody speculating this.
I said, what? I need to go to the podcast when I fucking called it out. And it was months ago when I've heard about all that. And I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. But I still think that's the reason why.
I've also I need to look at what Stuart Haas Racing has in their lineup of Xfinity cars, but I think that 41 car is going to be open next year too. I think Cole's gone. I really do. I don't think he's not
performing too well.
He's in the points. Where is he at in the point? Hey, look, Cole Custer, 27th. Above Harrison, Todd Gilliland, Brad Keselowski, who lost 100, Corey LaJoie, Cody Ware, and BJ McLeod. Really? He's in good company. You think Tony Stewart's going to be okay with lackluster like that? No.
Well, who's their utility driver that they hired? I can't think.
Ryan Preece. Ryan Preece.
Yes.
He might get him. Yes, he very well.
Put him in the 41, and I don't know. I've got a feeling about this one. And again, that would make room for Joe Gibbs to go to his younger drivers.
Pay him less, get new sponsors. Like, it'd be much better overhead for him if he did.
What do you bet Mars M&M's would go over to Stuart Haas if Kyle went?
If the money's right, it depends how much money they ask to sponsor the car.
And then I can see the commercials. A girl used to drive this car.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with that, but it's gonna be. And I can tell you right now, I can say this on whatever, but if that happens, we need to have an emergency podcast, like literally just about that.
Well, and I'm gonna point everybody back to all the previous podcasts.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been talking about this,
it's gonna be instantaneous.
Yeah,
put the kid on your lap, and I'll do whatever. It's gotta happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because that will be groundbreaking or just earth-shattering news. And again, it won't surprise me, but it'll actually more surprise me that I nailed it. And again, we've been talking about it for weeks. But
Oh yeah.
until he signs that contract with Gibbs, I ain't giving up
Well,
on
I
that.
believe also they had a little interview with whoever he was with NASCAR. I don't know if it was whoever he was, but they said whatever manufacturer wants to come to NASCAR, the door is open to communicate and talk. We're not going to turn anybody away. We'll talk. So that also,
I think they were more talking about Honda. And,
yeah. Though, like I said, it brings fuel to the fire
yeah.
of Dodge. Because he wouldn't say has Dodge come up, but he did say yes. If somebody came in and said they want to come to NASCAR, they would listen.
No, I just, you posted it on the Facebook page, and I'm not a huge Dodge fan. Don't get me wrong, I'm not. But
That car looked
man,
sharp.
that it was sharp.
Yeah.
I just want to look at it again. Where'd you?
It's in the pictures.
it
It's in
just
your pictures, your text message.
was it text?
Yeah.
I thought you. Put
I
it
didn't
on
I didn't post it because it's too much speculation.
Righty. You are correct, sir. I just can't get over how good that looks.
Oh yeah.
That is just that looks mean.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, like you said, I can see Days of Thunder, Thunder and Lightning, and all that other. All right. Honestly, that's really all I had that was of interest to me, and I even was.
No, there's another thing that came out. Two things, and we don't have to talk about
Go
the
ahead.
one thing real bad because I know it's a sore subject. Is the LA Coliseum
Did you see what Frank posted? It's going to be
on
on an
a
aircraft
craft carrier? Yeah. But yeah, no, it's news, so we kind of got to touch on it, even though we think it's a complete waste of money and resources, which they could take it to all these historic tracks and help restore instead of spending the millions of dollars, transform the LA Coliseum that brings mediocre racing. But the announcement was LA Coliseum is coming back in 2023 for the Busch Clash or the Clash to bring in the new season. If you want to go back and listen to the earlier podcast, we went into it. So I don't want to rehash it all, but we wholeheartedly do not agree.
I want to say is, just for those new listeners, and we know that we have a few, is our problems with this is all the money that they're spending on that, then they turn around and bulldoze it up. They should take that money, put it to some local track, and I don't care if it's a
build your own track.
Wilkesboro, Rockingham, some southern track in Ohio. I don't care. But give that money to those people, rehab their track, run your clash, cater to a local crowd that will actually support the sport.
Recurring. They'll support that one because it's never there, but they want a recurring.
Yeah. But, I made the point at the time, and I stand by it, that all, they were all jacked up about their ratings or their attendance or whatever.
Yeah.
And I watched the TV. And my question at the time is how many of those people that went there and they were supposedly 70-some% first time race attendees.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those folks got so turned on that they went to Phoenix or
Sonoma?
Yeah, Sonoma or Vegas or
a close track.
Fontana.
Yeah.
And the answer is none.
Yeah.
So, all right, it was basically the first race out of a pandemic. People were excited to be able to, especially in California, be able to congregate in masses without having all these restrictions on them. So I get the hype at the time, but it'll be we need to save or go back and look at when the time comes at what the ratings were for the Clash because it was brand new versus the second time around. And I would bet you almost anything you want to bet it's going to tank.
It's definitely gonna be lower.
And the attendance is going to tank. Because those that were interested showed up the first time, and the second time, well, okay, that was cute.
Been there once, yeah.
So, but yeah, I got it up there. It's gonna return the iconic venue.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Do
something good for some people instead of yourselves.
Yeah, and the last bit of news was Trackhouse announced that the 91 will be on track at Watkins Glen in August 21st. It'll be piloted by Kimi Räikkönen, the 2007 F1 champ. So that
I just got done saying a little while ago I was a big Trackhouse fan. To becoming a big. I don't agree with this. Why don't they take that ride and give it to Greg Biffle?
They want to.
If they're gonna do something like this,
I don't. They're trying to get the foreign crowd.
How about trying to lure Carl Edwards back on?
I still hope they have it open to Carl Edwards and a Jimmy Johnson to, 1-off or 2-off races. If they're gonna keep that seat open to where it's not filled. I
don't want to see Jimmy Johnson anymore. I want to see Carl Edwards again. I want to see the backflip. I mean, I understand what they're doing, but they're a fledgling team and they're doing so well. Why are you putting effort, money, and resources into these one-off races with unproven drivers that have no experience? And again, I will go one step farther. If you want to do something like this, which is basically a pilot program, why don't you do it in the trucks or Xfinity instead of Cup Series? Other than the fact that Cups Series can't fill a roster.
Yeah.
So it's an easy in. All you got to do is show up and pass inspection and you're racing. I get that. But if you're going to put a third car in the Cup Series, put in there somebody that knows what the hell's going on, that you don't have to teach, that might actually bring some knowledge to you.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to knock them too hard. I just wish they'd do it a different way. I'd love to see them put a third. And I love the fact that it's a 91, but I don't agree with the premise of it. But again, I'm not the guy writing the checks. So, this is this is kind of like not celebrating Daniel Suarez as a race cup, a NASCAR Cup Series winner, but putting out the fact that he's a Mexican in front of that. So what?
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what color he is or where he's from. He won a race. He wheeled a car. I could care less about any of the rest of it.
Well, could you imagine
every time a white guy wins, this is the 933rd guy that, it's like, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the identity politics. And NASCAR has gone so woke.
Yeah.
I got to stop. Congratulations to Daniel Suarez.
Could you imagine if fucking Danica Patrick would have won the first woman involved? Could you imagine that story?
She never did win a race, did she?
No. She's led laps, but
she sat on the pole at Daytona with Jeff Gordon.
Yeah, it just
the first two women ever to sit on the front row, as I remember.
Mm-hmm. But it's just they're trying to make this so everything identity, I guess. Who cares?
Yeah,
he's racing a car.
Yeah. How about talent? How about ability?
So,
I really honestly kid.
That was literally that. Like that, I looked up today and seen there's really nothing because it's an off week. It's kind of hush hush. There's a few things to touch on. Like I said, those are the 3 things that I had wrote down. Was the Coliseum, the the Coliseum, the Trackhouse, and then Clint Bowyer. Those are the only things I had wrote down as newsworthy because that was it. Look it up. There's nothing going on.
No, there isn't.
Probably, maybe next week stuff will come out. Maybe because it's coming up to the, NBC's taking over and who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, that's where it's going to be. I think next week will be a little bit more.
Was there
topics.
anything to? I saw, and I can't remember what the whole blurb was, but NASCAR was, or NBC, somebody was irritated with Junior about something.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know how true this was. If somebody made a tweet saying NASCAR, I don't want to say petition, but contacted NBC reps to get Dale Jr. out of the booth because of his interview with Jeremy Mayfield on Dale Jr. podcast.
That's it.
Now, it came from somebody who tweeted, and like I said, I don't think there was a credible source that did it. Like, I don't think anybody took it to heart, but it was out there. Because of his, it could be true, it could not be true, but I'm pretty sure NBC's like, shut up. Yeah. If that were to be true.
And I can see Junior interviewing him because he's going to be in the SRX series.
Yeah. Junior did his whole podcast with him, and it was all about the whole drug thing. And I don't know. I seen the tweet, and I seen a little bit of articles on it. And I think if it was true, it would have caught more traction and more credible.
Yeah, it was about a 2-day story.
Yeah,
and then it went away.
And like I said, it came from somebody who tweeted this thing, and it caught a little bit of traction, and then it just died off. I'm pretty sure people researched it and knew it wasn't true. But yeah, that's what it was. It was some guy made some tweet saying allegations that NASCAR contacted NBC to take Junior out of the booth because of his interview with Jerry Mayfield about his drug addiction and what on that podcast. Now, obviously, it didn't go nowhere. People tune in to actually listen to Junior. Watch Junior. So, yeah, that was last week, I think.
I enjoyed him when he was in the booth.
Yeah, Junior, I don't mind it. I just don't like how when it's 20 different people.
Shake up the bottle and pull out a name. Who's going to be there this week?
I was looking forward.
I'm surprised with Fox, as solid as they've been over the last 22 whatever years.
They had 6 to 8 months. They had 6 to 8 months to get somebody because Gordon gave him plenty of time to find somebody.
Oh, we knew before they went off the air last year midseason that he wasn't going to be back.
They had plenty of time, and I don't think I don't know. I hope Jamie McMurray gets it full time next year. And who knows? Clint might not come back depending on what the hell happened. But Clint's good. Like I said, Jamie's good.
Oh, Jamie gives it right back to Clint.
Yeah. So I
love Clint in the booth, and again, I hope something horrible hasn't happened.
Yeah.
But I could see Clint and Jamie in the booth for the.
Oh, I agreed.
They were great because Clint's a smart ass. Jamie just gives it right back to him.
Yep.
I never knew that Jamie McMurray had an attitude. I didn't. But all right, like I said, I don't want to do dead air and waste people's time. Again, I felt it was a good race. So happy to see some different people in the top 10. And I include Kevin Harvick in that.
Yeah. Well, Kevin Harvick only has 4 top 5s this year. He has 8 top 10s. 3 DNFs.
Yeah, well, they've been few and far between.
Yeah, they have.
Usually is due to a big wreck.
Yeah.
that he avoided.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad. It was good. Like I said, there wasn't a lot of drama. You got your Kyle Larson drama. But man, you gave me an idea for a blog.
Hey, it's technically a loophole. And hey,
it happened.
Yeah. And they could use real names. It just, they're at the shop.
I'll take it one step farther. If you're Cliff Daniels, you put in Kyle Busch's crew chief's name.
That's funny.
Oh well.
Cliff Daniels comes in with a mustache and Biff Daniels.
But you're right. As long as they're NASCAR approved, it's just a name.
Yeah.
Jeff Gordon, you know. Rick Hendrick, he's in the. Yeah, go ahead and suspend his ass.
Yeah.
All right. I've got nothing more. Let's wrap this up so we're not wasting people's time.
All right. Yeah, we're really at an hour, so yeah.
That was fun.
I just want to do another shout out. Like I said, we record this on Wednesdays just because of news coming out throughout the week and suspensions, because they just announced today, literally, the Kyle Larson stuff. So we knew that was coming. It's just they don't announce it till midweek. But we're on YouTube. To search Burn It Down Podcast. Follow it, like it, subscribe, whatever. If you're listening on any of the audio podcasts that are available, we're on most, if not all of them. I'll just name the popular ones: RSS.com, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Samsung Podcasts, Pandora, and Google Podcasts. Those are the main ones. Just search Burn It Down Podcast in the search bar, or under the podcast tab, search Burn It Down Podcast. We are also on Facebook.com. We have a group and fan page. Just search Burn It Down Podcast. It's Facebook.com/Burn It Down Podcast. And then on Twitter, Twitter.com/Burn It Down Cast. I was trying to be active this couple weeks, but last past week there was nothing going on to be active for the race. But those are the best ways to get a hold of us, is the Facebook, because that's when everybody's connected to. Nobody else is connected to the Twitter besides me, and obviously the audio. But if you want to contact, like I said, we had one guy join the NASCAR League. Like I said, just search Burn It Down NASCAR Podcast on there and join. Like I said, we're trying to get some prizes if for this year, and if it doesn't turn out this year, next year, hopefully we grow. So, like I said, we enjoyed, like I said, we had 10 views on the YouTube, which is better than we have in the last couple weeks. But we had, I think, 30 or 40 views or listens on the audio version, which I think is pretty good for the first week of a new live feed or audio podcast. But other than that,
and we stand too. We're just two guys, a father and son, and we've got a third wheel. He's got personal issues that hopefully are getting worked out, but we're just two guys that like to sit down and shoot the shit and have fun doing it and give our ideas. And we'd sure love for some feedback. I know we're begging a little bit here, but hey, let's get involved and let's have some fun. I know I'm having fun. I don't care what y'all else are doing, but it's just, if I'm having fun with my kid, I hope you guys are enjoying it. So I'm done.
You done? I'm done.
Yep.
All right. Hit the music.